So I'm David Wolf, and I'm a deputy district attorney. That means I'm a criminal prosecutor. I've been a prosecutor for almost 24 years. I've handled everything from misdemeanors to first-degree murder. And my wife is an editor and a writer, and she was involved in Writers of Kern. And a couple of years ago, someone found out from Writers of Kern that I was a prosecutor, and they said, "Hey, could you come talk about crime?" And I said, "Yes." And I also got involved with the Writers of Kern, the Young Writers of Kern writing competition, and I've been on the board of that since the inception, and that's a very rewarding program, which you probably know. We have a writing contest for kids, students in Kern County, and the idea is to encourage them to write because writing is very important. So I'm going to be one of the speakers on January 16th for the Writers of Kern. And last year we did my top 10 pet peeves for crime novels, movies, television shows. And this year we wanted to incorporate some of those ideas so that we could give some nuts and bolts to writers about the criminal justice system. But I'm also currently in the fraud unit, and part of my job is to help you not be a victim of fraud. So we thought, what a brilliant way to combine both those things. I'm going to talk about crime trends in Kern County so that you as an individual won't be as likely to be a victim. But two, so that you as a writer will have some ideas of what kind of fascinating crime schemes people have come up with. And also, it seems like everybody's writing about murder. And if you look at Nancy Drew, one of the longest running series of detective stories, the original series had no homicides in them whatsoever. It was always one type of scam after another that she solved. And I think maybe we've gotten a little bit lazy. And so by giving you an introduction to all these fascinating crime schemes, maybe it'll get you excited and you might want to write a mystery novel that's not a homicide. Or even if it's a homicide, maybe you'll be motivated to make the homicide as part of one of those schemes, and that's part of the plot. And I think it'd be far more interesting than just another serial killer. I realize my audience is writers, so we're going to incorporate real life crime and real life cops and DAs. So for example, one of my top 10 pet peeves is language. Writers should know how cops and DAs really talk. And so for example, if I'm talking about a homicide, I'm going to say a 187. Yet in dialogue, you won't see that. And I think it's something we could improve on. And it's something you could easily incorporate by having maybe a newer cop with an older cop, or a newer DA with a cop, and the cop could be saying, "I'm going to court on a 1538.5. Well, nobody knows what that means. But then the cop could look at the other person and say, "Yeah, a suppression motion where they try to get the evidence thrown out." So we'll incorporate the presentation so that hopefully you as a writer will learn more about real life criminal justice system, and hopefully you as a citizen of Kern County will be less likely to be a victim of crime. Hope to see you on January 16th, 2016 at the Writers of Kern.